Hey, what's up, everybody? It is the weekly close today, and I have been trying my hardest to get a video out, and I've just been having a lot of technical issues with it. But here we are, the weekly's close Sunday, and we are closing underneath this line, which is $3. The idea here is we want to close above $3. So if we could close above this, we would be in good shape. But I don't know if we're gonna do that. So we would have to go up quite significantly, and I just don't see it. Even if we got back all the way up here somehow today, it just even still, I don't think we could do it. So it's not the end of the world. Um, we do have three waves down. We have looks to be three waves up, and it looks like to be three waves down. So we have a WXY so far, and this could be the beginning of an impulse, and then we would get a three-way pullback, and then we would get up here in the retrace levels, and then it becomes very challenging because does this turn into another three waves down? So three, three, three before going up? 1, 2, 3? Or is it going to be, is this the end of the simple three-way move, and this is going to continue pumping us out of there? Well, it's either that or this. So which one's it going to be? We'll see, right? That this also applies to the bigger time frames, because this three-way pullback continuation, that's what we would like to see. 1, 2, 1, 2, go. But it could turn into 3, 3, 3, or 5, and then go. And it would still be a 1, 2, 1, 2. So those are the two bullish options. Now, the sort of the non-Elliott option would be a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways breakout. When you're inside of a range, right? When you're inside of a range, you hit the top, you hit the bottom. You hit the top, you could hit the middle, and that could be enough, or you could hit the bottom, right? So we're already basically almost to the middle of this range. That would really be the last line is 256 before I would call that this is doing this. So WXY. And if we did something like that, it would actually be a good thing, not a bad thing, because it would give us a bigger base, right? So when we look at the whole chart here and we zoom out, and we look at the range we're in, you could see right where we're at. So if we had something like this, where this was a flat, right, 3 down, and then we had 3 waves up. I just want you to see what this looks like when we zoom all the way out. It's not too big. 3 up, and then we're going to get 3 back down, and then go up. So it would look something like that. So when you look at this, it actually looks pretty good, right? We know XRP loves to go sideways. This isn't my main idea. This is the idea if, we turn bearish for the next month or 2 or 3, right? So we go sideways, we break out. right? We go sideways in here, we break out. We go sideways, we break out. And then we're going sideways one more time, right? Just like we went sideways here, broke out, broke out. So XRP likes to do this. It likes to go sideways, break out. Go sideways, break out. So that's literally what it likes to do. Where Bitcoin, and this, you know, it likes to do this, and then it likes to trail, right? It's a much smoother ride. It's not so depressing and boring, and then, oh my God, I can't believe what's happening, and then, oh my God, it's so depressing and boring. Oh my God, I can't believe it's happening. So, yeah, this is the bearish idea right here. Now, that would mean, if you look close, that would mean we would have to come. Right now we're in August. You know, this could take until December, right? This could go down for the next 6 months, 5 months. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I think if it was, it would happen quicker. Yeah, see, that would be more like October, right? So the big question is this enough? Is this enough to get us going? Well, we only have two. We have 3 waves, right? 1, 2, 3, and then we have 3 waves in wave 4. So either this is part of that wave, or this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're about to go. And where did it come from? It all comes from the retrace, right? That's why retraces, you know, don't matter too much, because, you know, we could break the retrace levels. Remember when we broke the retrace levels? A lot of YouTube channels, including me, I said, yeah, look, we broke it. You know, we broke the 702. But then I said after, it doesn't really matter, because you could break all the retrace levels and the swing high, and it can still eat your lunch. Why? Because crypto is called Flat City. There are flats literally everywhere. It used to be there wasn't so many flats, you know, back in the 1940s, 50s, 60s. And then once you had trading algorithms and Elliots and stuff, now you're seeing tons of flats everywhere, right? So this is a little bit too high of a time frame to see any flat, but basically, here's your flats here, and just focus on this side, the bullish side, right? So, you know, you guys know what a running flat is. That's a running flat. That's an expanded flat. And this is a regular flat. See, where are we right now, guys? We're right here. We're right there. So the question is, do we have to come down in order to go up? And when I mean come down, I mean come down like below 250, you know, somewhere. Let's pull this line up right here. You know, it'd be like 3. Whoops. So we would have 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down, and that would be a 3-way move, and then go. So we're gonna know. We're gonna find out. And how are we gonna find out? Well, this is gonna probably turn into an ABC or a flat, right? So if this comes up here and then it comes down, then we can go. But if this comes down, or if this comes back up and it comes back down like this, we can go. But if we don't, and we start coming back up, and we start doing this crap, and we get here, we could still technically go up from here, or we would have to come way down. and then go up. So we're going to go from here, or from here. Or from here. So I wish I could be more helpful, but here's the thing. We're going to rule out what it's not, right? Because this is actually not too bad in here. I don't like the shape of this, though. I don't like the shape of it. It just looks, I don't know, it looks a little bit too elongated. It doesn't look oscillating, right? I would have preferred it to look like this, you know, something like that. Give me a high retrace. There was no retrace. It was an expanded flat. First of all, that's a big correction. And then you had a shallow B, and then you're just continuing to bleed. So this could be a dangerous situation because it could be a 1-2 in here, right? It could be another 1-2 in here. We could be bottlenecking, you know. So, or it could be, you know, an ABC where this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's really, really fast, and then we get the hell out of there, right? So we would have, it could, see, that's the thing. You don't know if it's 3 down, 3 up, if it's 5 down, or if it's 3 down. Now, usually 3 down takes longer because you have a longer retrace, right? Whereas an impulse, a C wave, could be very quickly. And in hell, this could be it right here. So we have 1, 2, this could be like 3, 4, and 5, drop down in here, play around a little bit. Everyone's super bearish. We're crashing, and then we just climb the wall of worry, and then we go. If we look back in time, because this is the only thing we have, is to look left. And if I zoom out a little bit, you could kind of see specifically this spot right here. So imagine this is C19. This is your roundabout. You come on down, and then you pop the high. All right, remember that. Remember that. So C19, roundabout, pop the high. So if we go back over here, well, would you look at this? You got C19, you got a roundabout, you got to pop the high. And what happens next? You come down, you go sideways, and then you break out. So let's take this bars pattern here. And let's look at this son of a gun. Ignore this because that was all SEC related. I would pay a lot of money to see what the chart would look like if we didn't have SEC lawsuit. I would have been very curious to see how that would have played out. But here we go. Let's size it up a little bit. There we go. And would you look at that? It looks pretty damn good to me. So we could see something like this, where this is the most bullish case, right? Maybe not so long of a base, you know, because that base is a long time. That thing would take all of August, and basically it would take almost 45 days just going nowhere. So hopefully that's not the case. We'll see. We know summers are bearish typically, especially August. I put out 3 videos, and the last 2 I couldn't get it uploaded, and the last video I got it uploaded, but there was no sound. So I don't know what's going on, but in my last 3 videos I was talking about the Fed and Jerome Powell and Trump and the transition, and him calling Jerome Powell too late, right? That's a very scary thing for the president to call the Federal Reserve Chair too late. Meaning, what does that mean? Why would he call him too late? Could it be because once the economy and the financial system completely collapse, he's going to say, well, see, I told you, you were too late. You should have lowered rates when I told you and you didn't do it. See, you're too late. And then someone asked Trump, well, what if he lowers rates this month? And he goes, well, it's not going to make no much of a difference. He's too late. Well, to me, that's a very scary, concerning thing. That means that we're getting set up to have a big crash. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen after the fact. That could happen way, we can go up to $8, $10, and then we get that crash. And then we blame the Fed, right? Because you have the people's economy, the workforce, the labor force. You have the monetary economy, right? The banking system, the financial system. So I think the people's economy is under Trump, obviously, and then the financial economy is under Jerome Powell, under the Fed. So if the financial system starts to crack and you have a credit unraveling, or you have some issue in the financial system that causes a chain reaction, that causes a bunch of C-19 style liquidation scares, right? Then Trump will come out and say, I told the Fed to lower rates. They didn't lower them. See, now you know why his nickname was Too Late. And then the fake news will come out and say, well, you could have fired him. And you could have fired him and replaced him. But the problem with that is the optics. If Trump fires Powell, it's not going to matter, because if he fired Powell, it's still too late, right? It's still too late. They should have lowered rates long ago, because that's when everything. If you go look at the stock market, you can see right here, right? It's not the rate. It's the lowering of rates that screw everything up, not raising rates, right? But if you look here, here's the top of the market, right? And that's when the Fed started cutting rates. But look at the chart. We're crashing. And we're not just crashing a lot. We're crashing a mega. This is from 2000 all the way down to 2002. We crashed for 2 years because of the Fed funds rate going down, right? Look what happened again. Then look what the Fed did. The Fed started raising rates. They don't know what they're doing. They always do it the wrong time. Look. So then they started raising rates, right? Then the market got better. And then they started lowering rates, and then it crashed again. And then they basically stuck them at zero forever. This was all Obama right in here. That's why Obama had somewhat good numbers, because there was no rates. Everything was 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? And look what the market did. After the rates were cut, after it was completed, that's when the market started going up. See, that's the problem. So then, right here, we went down, and then look what happened. We went up a little bit, but then we had a big C-19 event right there. So what I think is happening is we don't want them to cut rates yet, or we want the market to go up a little bit more. We want Bitcoin to get that final move, XRP to break out, Theta and everything else get to the retrace levels, and then they start lowering the rates, and then that's when it collapses. Then after they're done and they hold them, that's when we can go back up. I mean, this is what has happened throughout history. Look right here. Every time this goes down, the market goes down. This goes down, the market goes down. It could be a little bit of a delay, right? Even back over here, it's literally the same. It goes down, market goes down. It goes down, market goes down. Market goes down, rates go down. Rates go up, market goes up, right? But you could say, well, I thought it was the opposite. I thought rates going down is easier money. Easier money means more weaker dollar. Weaker dollar means more inflation. Inflation, that's true, but it's not the cutting cycle. It's after it's already cut, because it's always the opposite, right? So why would the market sell off knowing you're getting cheap rates, right? Because it's actually a delayed reaction. When you cut the rates, it takes a long time for it to take effect. But then you also have people who trade the news. So it's actually this, when the rates are paused, that's when you get big moves up. Here's a pause, went right up, right? So once the rates stay down there, so if Jerome Powell can cut the rates and then stay down there, we can have a big bull market right in here. But the cutting cycle itself is bearish. But it doesn't mean as soon as Jerome Powell's going to cut, we're going to crash. No, what's going to happen is Jerome Powell will eventually cut, or somebody will cut, right? But it could be too late. It could be too late. For example, the market could be crashing, and then he'll come out and cut, and then it'll get a dead cat bounce, but then it'll keep, coming down. But what I really think, when it's not, the market goes up when they announce that they're going to cut rates. So let's say they're going to cut rates next month. The market's going to get bullish. The market's going to love it, right? And then it starts going up. And then you have the next Fed meeting. And let's say they cut again, maybe a little bit more up. And then that's it. It's over. Then they cut again, and then you're in free fall. Right? So if we match it up with Bitcoin, it's a little bit more challenging to read. Yeah, you could see when Bitcoin really exploded. That's when they had paused right here. But during the cutting cycle, that's when Bitcoin came down. So we could be, somewhere like right in here. Like if the Fed wants to drop them a little bit more and then go sideways like this, then, we finish correcting, and then we get the big pump when it's sideways. We get the big pump when it's sideways, I'm just speculating. All right, so, but what I'm not speculating on for sure is that the rates being cut, we all want, first of all, I think Trump and Powell are working together. First of all, Trump picked Powell, right? And you go, why is he bashing him so hard? Because of optics. He needs everyone to believe that he's not on it. Just like him and Elon. You really think Elon and him are enemies? Hell no. They're together. So him and Powell, I think, are together. But I think Powell's playing the bad guy, right? Movies need good actors, right? So, if this is a big show, then let's see it, right? Let me get rid of this now. So it could all be for optics, right? Because if Trump was Powell's best friend and then we had a big crash, how could he blame him, right? He needs him to be the enemy. So Powell could go down as a patriot that sacrificed his image for his country. And those are the true heroes. But I don't know. He might be a bad guy. I don't know. We'll see. So when we look, okay, let's go back to XRP. So, yeah, so, okay, yeah, here's our fractal here. We were talking about that. And yeah. And then that's idea number one. And I like it a lot. Look at it. It looks pretty decent here. Looks pretty decent. So if that's the case, then you could see, let me see if I can make it a little bit smaller. There we go. Just to match this move up. So you could see we could have one more low here and then kind of come up and then play around. Basically just consolidate, before exploding up. So, you know, we don't have to be such in a rush to buy, but, you know. So there we go. That's basically it for XRP here. Again, let's just summarize really fast. It's going to be either 3 down, 3 up, 3 or 5 back down, and then we explode. And that is a very real possibility, right? Or we're finished and we're ready to go now. So it's really 2 ideas. But then when we zoom in a little bit further, it's the same bullish idea, but the difference is this is A, B, C, and then we go. Some kind of 3-way move in here. Or it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? No, I mean, I'm sorry. It could be, yeah, something like 5 here. And it's still 1, 2, 1, 2, go. So really, are we going to get that? Are we going to get that? Are we going to get that? What do you guys think? Well, let's look at other charts and we can maybe figure it out. So I don't really like where it is now. Man, I made a really bad trade yesterday. Really bad. So, well, not bad, but basically what I did was I bought it at the right time, but where's my damn arrow at? I bought it at the right time. I bought it right in here somewhere. And then we crashed. We started going down. We took the low, and then I sold it. I literally sold the bottom. Like, what the? On my trade. Not my investment, not my hodl, not my lifetime achievement award. I'm talking about a regular trade. I got in, and I literally sold it. And then I put my phone down. A couple hours later, we were up here. And I was like, OMG. Seriously. Right? So, man, that was a tough one. Because I was looking at it like 1, 2, 3. No. I was looking at it like, what was I looking at? Wait. Let me zoom out. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at it like we had 1, 2. I don't really like this 3, 4, 5. I looked at it kind of like a 5-wave move. So I took a chance. But then I was looking at this 1, 2, 3, 4. This could have came down to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I sold it. And I should have never sold it. So I got back in, like right in here, 280 or something, 281. And now we're here. So I really wanted that extra wiggle room because I feel like, you know, it's Sunday too. I mean, usually last Sunday was bullish. And look what happened to our week. It got wrecked. So we don't really want bullish Sundays anymore. We want Sundays to be flat or bearish. Because if Sundays are bullish, then it sets up for a bear, right? That's what I've noticed. So, yeah, this is not going to be sustainable. I don't think this is just going to go up. No. I think this, you know, we'll see what happens when we get to these points, but expect a lot of pullbacks in here, even maybe a base, right? I don't even know if this thing is finished yet because I just don't really like the shape of it. You know, you got 3, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I guess so, but I don't know. Let's look at other charts in here. This is why dollar cost averaging is so important, right? Here's our low, and we did not break the low. That's pretty good so far. So let's look at Theta. I mean, Theta looks like a disaster on the small time frames, right? On the larger time frames, nothing's changed. It looks completely fine, right? Um, you know, you got 3 waves up, you got 3 waves down, and now we want 5 up to give us a bigger 3. The most important part of the chart is this 3-wave move here. That took over a year. Major bullish divergence in here. So I'm still very, very bullish on the higher time frames. I still believe that we're going to get up here. Now, how are we going to get up here? Wyckoff. And I've explained this 2 times already. This is the 3rd time. So hopefully the video gets uploaded. But basically, there's 2 types of Wyckoffs we could look at. This is just the standard one here, but you could see it lines up really good, right? So, I mean, it lines up almost perfectly. Look at this, guys. This is insane. I've never had one that looks this nice. So this could be the real deal here, right? Look at this. The first, second, the automatic rally right here. You can see right where it came up to, right? So, no, I'm sorry. So we came down, right? We come down. We go up in 3, come down, go up in 3, right? You could use this point here, but then we come for down here. We come back up, and then here's your spring. Then you roll back and go. So that's one way to look at it. This could be rounded or it could be spring. It could be a creek, something like that. Or it could be a spring, something like that. So we'll see how that plays. But there you go. That's really it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So, we're building a base in here, but we really want this son of a gun to break out once it's finished. And then get back up here. That's exactly what I think. Now, we know that, but on the smaller time frames, that's where it gets tricky because, this looked really good in here. This looked good, but then you had these divergences in here. This was pretty steep. So we do have an ABC, right? So you could look at it like a 1-2, 1-2, but it's too corrective. We're range bound. So let me just keep these here. And right now we actually back tested our little spot right in here. So this is a good spot to me to buy for dollar cost averaging. Obviously we could still keep going down, right? This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 3 up, and then hit the low and then get your spring in there. I'm just trying to fit it into the Wyckoff scenario. Now from Elliott wave scenario, this could be 3, and then we can literally just go now. We could start at some point this coming week or next week. We could start rocking. Or it could be 3 down, it could be 3 up, it could be 5 down, and then we start rocking. So that's probably more realistic. Bitcoin. So we finally got our 3-wave shape. Boom. Boom. And then probably boom, something like that. ABC, then go up. Now, of course, it could be ABC, 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 then go up. And it would just be way bigger. So, you know, you kind of had this little thing here. You broke down. I think it's going to come back up and keep pumping here. You know, it looks a lot like that one Bitcoin fractal. I'm not sure where it's at, but it's way back in the day. There we go, right here. So this actually looks pretty dang similar in a way, where you had this little triangle, right? You crashed down, you pumped up, you flagged out, you kept going. And look at this, it's right around the same time frame. Very, very interesting. Let's take a bars pattern. I didn't want it that big, but okay, let's go up. There we go. It's not perfect at all, but it's something to work with here. It looks actually not too bad. Not too bad. So that's kind of what it looks like, right? So, like, I mean, we'll know right away if this is what it is, right? So, yeah. Let's see here. If we zoom out, see, today is Sunday, and look at these prices. This is not good. Like last Sunday, we had massive rallies. Look at that, 8%. This is not normal on a Sunday. This is what happened last Sunday, and it set us up for a bearish week. So now we have a bullish Sunday again. Does it have the same impact? I don't know. I would have much rather it seen, I would want to see this on a Tuesday or a Monday, right? Not a freaking Sunday. Because what happens is, this is, let's go to the weekly. You're going to have the wicks, right? So if the new candle opens here, right, you're going to have a wick down in here. So that's Monday or Tuesday or whatever, but I don't see it just doing this. I don't see a breakout next week at all, unless we rally very hard in the next 5 hours and this becomes a big wick, a bullish hammer candle like this. If this can rally up massively in the next 6 hours, it'll look pretty good. So let's look at a few others. Chain link. So the issue is you have 3 waves. This could be 5, that could be A. This right here could be B. And we're ready to go all the way down. You know what I mean? So it's a real thing here. That's why we're at such a sketchy area, you know? We're at a very, very, look at H bar, same thing, right? You have A, is this B, and then now we're going to get C, and then go up? Or are we going to flag out and break out here? It's all going to happen where we're at. This is the decision. You have point A, point B, point C. This is the decision right here. So which one's it going to be? It really looks, I mean, I'm very mixed on it. I mean, XLM looks more like a 1-2. See, we want this to be a 1-2-1-2 or a 1-2-3, not an ABC. AVAX. Yeah, a nice expanded flat here on AVAX. So I'd like to see this finish and then go back up. So, because, you know, you have this impulse, you have a 3-way pullback, but then this is getting a little bit, we want this to base a little bit, but we don't want it to get too big, because then it could be distribution. So let's see. Litecoin looks interesting still, right? But the thing with Litecoin is it's the same thing, right? You got a pump, you got 3 down, you got 3 up. Do you get 3 back down before going up, or do you go up now? And this comes into Jerome Powell and the interest rates. And I mean, I think if the Fed starts to lower rates, right, because there's a big percentage chance that they will next month, then we could see a breakout, right? We want the market to go up before a big event occurs. So other than that, we're doing okay. We still had the highest 2-week close in XRP history, right? And here's another very important. Oh, look at this. The 2-week chart is also going to end. And that's kind of, oh yeah, because it's the beginning of August, right? So this is the last 2-week candle. So what's interesting about this is when you look at our massive bullish engulfing candle, right? We broke above these swing highs, and then this candle came all the way down. So basically you take this whole candle and you cut it in half, and that's exactly where it went to, and that's exactly what we talked about. Now, did we know for sure it was going to do that? No, but it was totally an option, because a lot of times it does that. When you break out, the following candle has to come down and retest it. So we have less than 6 hours to go. Can XRP rally above this high? Which is right, let me put it right there. And I'll put one right there. And then I'm going to zoom in and see where we're at here. So there's those 2 lines. Can we do it in that time frame? I don't think so. Because we've already, it would really have to get going here. Really get going. It could be like a little shoulder, a little head, a little shoulder in here. Right? So I've already gotten too long with the video. But yeah, I will, again, it's not financial advice. So just trying to figure it out. Right? Again, I'm still very bullish. I still believe we're going up, 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 up. Look how bullish we are, guys. Look at this. You have the biggest cup and handle. You have the biggest W pattern. You have the biggest rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. You have the biggest base. You're right at the end. You're right at the verge of a massive break above a 7.5-year range. This took more than 7 years just doing nothing but going sideways in a pressure cooker. And you're literally right at the verge of something major. And everybody's freaking out because of the small time frames. But the small time frames doesn't really matter, right? They do, but the bigger time frames mean a lot more. So I believe this year or even next year, we should be on our way, right? The only problem is the smaller time frames. This is the issue, right? The smaller time frames, because we know we're going to go up and break out, but we don't know how we're going to do that. See, I know with full 100% confidence and conviction that we will break out and we will be bullish. The part where I don't know is, or I do know, I have ideas, is how do we get there? See? How do we get there? Do we get there like this? Do we get there like this? Right? Or do we get there like 1, 2, 1, 2, go? or 1, 2, 1, A, B, C, 2, go. See how that was different? Or 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, then go. Or 3 down, 3 up, 5 down, then go. See, there's different ways it could happen. So why are there so many ideas? Because that's how the chart sets up. That's how the market makers do it. They set it up in a way where there's a lot of options on the table. And you just have to allow time to pass to rule out what it's not and rule out what it is, or rule what it is, right? So I don't like how this is 5 waves, because I don't see us breaking out of this if it's 5. If we had 3, it would be better, right? Because then you could say, well, there's your 3. But since this is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it could be 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go, which is totally fine, totally fine. Because what we would do is we would do this 3-wave move on top of the high, right? But here's another part. You can also look at it as 3, a zigzag, right? 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and then 3 waves down, or this could be 5 waves down. And this could be a 3-wave move. But I just didn't like the shape of it, right? I think I wanted to look at Ethereum, though. Theta Fuel is okay. Everything's fine with Theta Fuel. You know, Theta Fuel kind of looks like a flat in here. What a surprise. But yeah, even Theta Fuel, I'm expecting it to come up here. So we're building a base. We just spent this whole wave down. We're consolidating. Sell side of the curve, right? You have accumulation, and then you have the buy side, right? So that's typical. Ethereum. So this is the one that looks phenomenal because of what it accomplished. And what it did was it came all the way up right there from way down here. So I would imagine it would need a little bit of time to chill out. And that gives us the argument that, hey, XRP will probably then need, it'll probably need, boom, A, B, C to go up. It's going to need that extra time, because if you look at Ethereum, it looks like it barely just started. Right? If we put XRP up here, look what Ethereum has done since XRP. I mean, XRP went up in 3 waves. Boom, boom, boom. But Ethereum went up in a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It had a bigger, more pronounced wave. So what's up with Ethereum? Well, you could see. What is it? It's an expanded flat, A, B, C. So then the question is, you already know what I'm going to say. The question is that enough? Is this going to be 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, expanded flat 4, then we go up for 5? Very simple. Hopefully that's the case. If life was so simple, everybody would be rich. But they don't make it simple. They make it difficult. They make it complicated. They make it take forever. They make it do things that make no sense. Right? No, I'm just kidding. This, like for example, this was so complicated, right? You had 3 there, 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 right? But what you really had was 3. So you get rid of all the noise, and you connect the dots, and it was 3. But you had all of this crap in the middle that just muddied the waters, right? So I tell you, is this 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, then go? Or is it 3 down, then go? It's got to be one of the two. So until then, we wait. And then also, you're right at resistance, so it makes sense. So if this comes into a cup, you can have a inverse head and shoulders. But that means it would have to come way down. I think it would have to come down to at least right in this zone. We're a little bit of a U here, right? Something like that. So anyways, I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.